With National Native News, I'm Art Hughes in for Antonia Gonzalez. Voters in Anchorage dismissed a Superior Court judge who accepted a plea agreement for a defendant who served no jail time for sexually assaulting an Alaska Native woman. Judge Michael Corey was the target of a recall campaign following the verdict for Justin Schneider, who admitted to choking a victim until she lost consciousness and then sexually assaulting her. Schneider was sentenced to a year in jail, but with time served in home detention, he walked free from the sentencing hearing. Corey has been a judge since 2014. KTVA News reports this is the first time an Alaska judge recommended by the Alaska Judicial Council has been recalled. Supporters for the judge say he was the victim of sentencing procedures put in place by the legislature. Republican candidates triumphed in Alaska's election this week. Republicans now control the executive and legislative branches of state government. The turn of events is applauded by the developers of the proposed Pebble Gold and Copper Mine. In a written statement, the Pebble Limited Partnership also praised voters' rejection of a statewide ballot measure that would place stricter environmental controls on permits for dams, mines, and oil developments near salmon habitat. The Kalispel tribe is proposing to change its air quality status under the Federal Clean Air Act. The move comes as a reaction to a proposed silicon smelter that would be built near the reservation in Newport, Washington. Steve Jackson reports.
Under the Federal Clean Air Act, there are 3 stages of air protection levels called Class 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being the most stringent protective standard. All the U.S. states currently have Class 2 designations. Some areas, like national parks, have Class 1 status. Now the Kalispel tribe has issued public notice that they want to change their reservation at Usk, Washington, to Class 1 as well. The Kalispel tribe's natural resource officer, Dean Osterman, says the tribe is seeking to upgrade to Class 1 status because of what they consider to be a serious threat to their current air quality.
It wasn't until a couple years ago when we were surprised by an announcement of Pac West Silicon Smelter being proposed for the Usk location that we, for the very first time, were ever concerned about our air quality on the reservation. For the previous decades that I've worked there and time prior to that, the tribe had never considered its air resources at risk.
The Pac One company withdrew its plan to put in the smelter at Usk, but decided to request they be allowed to construct the facility in nearby Newport, only about 12 miles from the reservation. The new designation would mean the company would have to meet more stringent air quality standards that would be overseen by the State Department of Ecology. Osterman says even meeting those more stringent standards would not guarantee the health of residents because the state emissions laws would still allow a massive amount of pollution to be released from the plant. For National Native News, I'm Steve Jackson reporting from Spokane.
A close congressional race in New Mexico has turned in favor of Democrat Xochitl Torres Small. After a large block of absentee ballots were counted Wednesday, Torres Small leads Republican Yvette Harrell by almost 3,000 votes for the open 2nd congressional district seat. Harrell, an enrolled citizen of the Cherokee Nation, is not conceding. On a video posted on Torres Small's Facebook page, she told supporters she understands the challenges that she faces in the state's southern district.
It would have been easy to give up on this process. People could have said, this is just another time where it hasn't worked. And instead, people were calling me this morning. People were showing up this morning. People were showing up to make sure that their votes counted.
The closely watched race attracted more than $12 million in campaign spending. Harrell, a state representative, closely aligned herself with President Donald Trump and did not reference her native ties during the campaign. With National Native News, I'm Art Hughes.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation. Funding is by Odawi Law Group, provider of Indian law solutions, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite System.
Support by the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, gateway to tribal colleges created by and for American Indians, accredited and local, with certificate programs to master's degree programs. Info at aihec.org. Support by AARP. AARP creates and connects people to unique tools and programs, helps conserve personal resources, and tackles issues that matter most to individuals, families, and communities. More at aarp.org.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.